right, glad to have you. Welcome to the program. Thanks. It is the Joe Pag Show. On TV, you should be able to hear Carrie now. See, what I tried to do in the first block, I tried to lessen. I tried to lessen the pressure and stress on people's ears. So we've got that technically worked out. Some things that I saw last night. Carrie, did you want to give an overview as a journalist or even as a political watcher as to what you saw last night?
I thought this was the best out of the three. I thought Chris Wallace did the best job that I've seen as far as moderating, of course, and I mentioned that on Facebook. I thought he had some great questions right out of the gate. He talked about, Supreme Court justices. That is an issue question, which I loved. And he also talked about immigration. Have we heard immigration from any of the other two debates?
Really haven't. No, not much anyway.
I don't think so either. That I loved. And as soon as I wrote that on Facebook, then he starts talking about the sexual assault allegations. Yeah. So, I don't know. I thought he certainly did better than Anderson Cooper and Martha Raddatz did, and I thought it was pretty fair. I thought, when they stuck to the issues, that's what I liked.
Yeah, I think a lot of people like that. There was a lot of meat on the bones last night, whereas in the other debates, not as much. Trump came in subdued, I thought, and got really motivated and got really wound up, got really into it as the debate went on. I heard somebody said that he was out of gas earlier, and I didn't think so. But in the beginning of it, I thought that he was very calm. I think he was watching his demeanor on purpose. I think he was trying to come off as presidential. And then, as it went on, he'd start to go, wrong. He'd start to do that thing. Or not true.
Yeah.
Never said it. So at some point, he started saying, oh, look, I'm not going to let her get under my skin. And I thought that the questions that Chris Wallace posed, as you said, were good. Actually, they were very good. The follow-up, not as good. I mean, if you're going to ask somebody a specific question, maybe make sure that you keep them on that. Hillary Clinton, more so than Donald Trump, I felt, went off the beaten path. So I've got some keys to the debate.
Clinton Foundation question.
Yeah.
And then, she never really answered the question, and then she started talking about how great the Clinton Foundation was and what they did. It was like this big advertisement. No, and just answer the question.
Yeah, and it wasn't going to happen. But I think that he could have pressed her on that more to make it even more obvious that it didn't happen. So I've got some things that I felt were the keys to the debate last night. I watched it closely. I opined afterwards, and I've had a night to think about it. I have heard some of the left media today, and they're harping on one thing is really stupid. I'll get to that in a second. But here are my keys from that debate from last night. As Carrie said, the Clinton Foundation was brought up. The WikiLeaks information that we know about the Clinton Foundation. We know that there was pay to play. We know that those who were donating to the Clinton Foundation were able to get FaceTime or dinner time or a phone call with the Secretary of State. She promised, as Chris Wallace brought up last night in 2009, that she would separate from that. There would not be any intermingling. And did you keep up with your promise? The answer is no. As Carrie said, then she veered off the beaten path and talked about how wonderful it is, and 90% goes to this and that, when we saw numbers last week that 6% goes to the actual charitable needs that are out there. She ignored the question about pay to play. He does bring her back to that and says pay to play again, and she again avoids it. When they talked about Haiti, when it comes to the Clinton Foundation and how in Little Haiti they've got a major problem in Miami, in New York City, of course there are Haitians right there in New York City holding up signs. The Clinton Foundation that's fraudulent. Where is our money? Why didn't you do what you said you would do? And I think that she kind of got a pass on that. It was good that he asked the question. The question had to be asked. It wasn't good that she was able to weasel out of it. She never answered the question and never intended to answer the question. By the way, as far as an overview again, I felt as though, and I don't know anything about her medical situation. She won't really release what's going on. And the WikiLeaks, that suggests there is something going on. But there was a lot of her shaking her head approvingly again and affirmatively again as Donald Trump was talking, saying things that she doesn't agree with. So I found that to be odd. I don't know why somebody would do that unless it's something that's involuntary. Not a doctor, don't know. But what I'm saying is I have eyeballs. And I saw what was going on last night, and I felt there was some of that going on. I don't know what the story is, but that to me seemed a little bit odd. Having said that, the pay-to-play revealed in WikiLeaks, the possible medical issues revealed in WikiLeaks, The fact that President Obama knew about these private servers and was actually communicating with the campaign, revealed in WikiLeaks. What we found out in the last debate and this debate is that WikiLeaks, that's real. The emails are real. They've tried to say they're not authenticated, and then they moved away from that and say, well, Russia hacked it, and why would you take fraudulently received information and put it out as real? Nobody's ever said that it wasn't real, but you'll recall in the last debate when the WikiLeaks stuff was brought up about her having a different opinion privately than she does publicly, she didn't say, I never said that. No, what she said was, I was quoting Abraham Lincoln, which was BS. Bacon sandwich. That was already the first admission that they are authentic, that these emails are authentic. Then last night, when it's brought up, the open borders issue where she was talking to Brazilian bankers, and she said she wants a hemispheric economy. She doesn't want borders. Her dream is to have open borders. She said that, and last night, instead of saying, I never said that, but these emails aren't real, she authenticated them again by reiterating, well, what I really meant to say, or what I was talking about, was energy, which is the first time anybody's heard anything like she was talking about energy. It's a lie. She wasn't talking about energy. She was talking about the economy. She was talking about the trade. She was talking about whether people can come and go as they please into and out of our country, a country without borders, according to her dream. So you walk away, the most important things at the top of my list are that she would not say there was no pay for play with the Clinton Foundation. That tells me, all right, probably was. And in fact, WikiLeaks says there was. And can I rely on WikiLeaks? Yes. Hillary Clinton and her campaign have told me I can rely on WikiLeaks. How have they told me that? By not saying, we never sent that. I never said that. That's not my email address. I wasn't involved in that. So we now have verifiable proof that WikiLeaks and the dump is real. They have not tried to say that it's not real. All they've said early on was, not authenticated. And now they're saying, well, Russia hacked us, and it's not fair. I don't understand. I gave the example the other day, the Cali and the Medellin cartels in Colombia. If Cali got a hold of the authorities and said, hey, I know Medellin has $8 billion worth of cocaine that they're harvesting over here, that they're processing over here, and the authorities go and bust that processing plant, is it any less illegal because the information came from a bad guy? The answer is no. So what we learned last night were those two things, the open borders, the energy issue. That was a lie. That was not what she was talking about. She knows that was a very, very important piece of last night. And the whole Trump not accepting the outcome, in today's vernacular, not a thing. People say, well, yeah, that's a thing. That's not a thing. Not even for a second. The moment I saw that this was allegedly going to be a thing last night, I tweeted out, you go check my Twitter. I was way ahead of everybody on this. Al Gore in 2000 is all you have to remember when you talk about people never having challenged the results of an election, of a presidential election before. Everybody's beside themselves over this. I'll give you that example, get more in depth with it, take your phone calls as well. Maybe you think I'm all wet. Maybe you think I'm on to something. But we definitely want to talk about last night's debate in earnest on the Joe Pags Show. Stay here.